There, folks, and welcome back. Today, the special Saturday edition up here with Bob McVay at the machine shop. Today is a Saturday, as I said, and we are working overtime to try to get a couple of projects of his and his customers moved forward. We've got to get the Oldsmobile 455 boat motor off the dyno, get that thing off, get another Big Block Chevy on, get it ready to rock and roll, and we're going to run that thing today. Bob is over here building another motor. I believe that one is Billy of Street Racing Channel's 555 cubic inch Big Block Chevy. Ryan's over here as well. We got everybody on board today, trying to burn the candle at both ends because Bob is going into surgery here the next couple of days, so we're trying to clear everything off his plate as possible. So I have absolutely no idea what all is going to be involved in today's video. I'm going to film whatever I possibly can. Hopefully it's entertaining. So thanks for being here. Appreciate you. All right, so here's our 455 Oldsmobile boat motor. Basically got to get this thing disconnected and off the dyno. All of the bits and pieces removed, water pump removed, our little piece that we borrowed from our Oldsmobile 455 customer. Disconnect it physically from the dyno drive as well as the bell housing from this piece itself. Get all of our sensors and wires and stuff disconnected. And then this whole cart will just slide forward and go out that way. And then we'll pull off this piece, pull it up in the air, swap over to the Big Block that hopefully Bob will have done by the time we're ready to go. Hard to do this with one hand.
Yeah.
Dyno coolant sensor disconnected. Now, who says I don't ever work on anything and turn any wrenches? I tell you, look at this. I'm literally turning a wrench. So for those who are curious, this is your flywheel. This is basically like a very short drive shaft that attaches the flywheel and the engine to the actual dyno itself. And then you just got a couple of bell housing bolts that hold this thing together. And then this whole piece will just slide forward. Pretty simple setup. And then we'll lift this up with a gantry chain, take the carb off, lift it up, and then you bust these nuts loose, and then the whole thing comes apart. Pretty nice. And then he's got different ones of these as far as the bell housings go. You see this one is a Pontiac, Cadillac, Buick, obviously Oldsmobile, BOP. So he's got a different assortment of these based on whatever motor it is. And you just swap out your bell housings, and they all have the same pattern for the dyno piece. Got it. Yeah. And we're loose.
Normally turn her straight out. That's part of the drive when I can get up.
Come on, boy. Needs some caster in this alignment. This is not stable. You see, I can work. I can do it. I even got my hands dirty. Look at me. Bob, I know I have a reputation as your prettiest person that you work with. Look at me, I even have dirt on my hands. I'm working for a living.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, proud of me?
Sure.
Pull your carb nuts loose. And we'll put a engine lift plate on here. And disassemble the rest of this thing. And then this guy, Big Block Chevy, is going on next. I do believe. Right? Yeah? This is next? Big Block Chevy versus Big Block Chevy versus Big Block Chevy? Alright. This is Billy's?
Yep.
Make sure you don't drop anything on camera. Alright. Bob's shop is armed with this awesome gantry system. So just bring her over here, snatch her, and pull her off. And then we pull bell housing bolts, and then flywheel bolts, and we're done. And then we transfer this thing over onto this thing. Easy peasy.
So that electric one that Ryan's got over there is faster. And then these bolts can go in here. These are the bolts, these are the sockets for the flywheel.
Oh, okay.
But you can store them in here and then put them back on there. So the flywheel that goes on the next one is going to be a 454 that's externally balanced.
So you have a special flywheel for that?
Yeah, it's in one of those down underneath there.
You want that?
I'm a do it by hand kind of guy.
Oh, okay.
I'm burning calories here, guys. Flywheel off. And we'll transfer over the engine stand over yonder. Oh, don't change the mode button, Austin. Don't hit the mode. All right, this is our PRW flywheel that we used with the other Oldsmobile we did. This is gonna be Bob's new house Oldsmobile flywheel, I think. All right, gonna pull coolant plug and then transfer over.
That bolts in there holds it on that.
It's supposed to.
Excuse Bob, he's standing in front of the cameras. Always count on other people to get in your shots. Tell you what, this gantry setup is freaking clutch. So much easier. All right, put our bolts in and get this thing off.
One of them was over here. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Are you turbo or no?
All right. One done. Let's get the other one ready to roll. All right, chain remounted. This thing is ready to ship. This gentleman's actually going to take care of this himself. If you haven't seen that, we just did this on the video that I ruined when I forgot to make sure that my camera was not in slow motion with no audio recording, which was the most recent video. But we were discovering why this thing was overheating, and it was a pretty interesting way of doing it. Figuring out how the combustion gases were putting into the cooling passage. I recommend you going back and watching that video. It's a pretty interesting way to do it. Bob kind of busted out some old school tricks, but this gentleman's going to take care of the tear down and assessment from there. He just needed Bob's help to be able to figure out exactly what was going on, and then he'll go from there. So this is not one you're going to see built here. It'll be somewhere else. These boys are already working on getting the Big Block Chevy set up on the flywheel and the bits and pieces, and get this thing on the dyno. Look at those dirty hands, working like a man. If you're wondering why Austin keeps talking when he's filming, it's because Bob always plays copyrighted music all day long, so you got to deal with Austin talking.
Well, don't it sound like it's deaf, quiet?
I understand. You need to be talking to yourself, Bob.
Find your earphones on.
All right, bell housing's on. We're ready to rock and roll. Get this thing on the cart. Transfer over yonder. You got motor mounts for this thing? Or we use the same ones over again?
They're in that cycle.
Oh. Okay.
Same bolts are in that thing.
All right, there we go. Big block transferred over. Get the mount set up and move these little arm guys. Got this thing down to a science there, Balo. You been doing this?
Just a few times.
Done this a few times. Those are cinched down.
It's stock fuel from
Roller in there.
from that 92 Oldsmobile. So it's fine fuel.
Ready to roll? Yeah. Oh. What's it?
I'll drain that for you, Ryan. Okay, we gotta take this off.
Now, what's the story with this one?
New motor.
454?
30 over.
30 over 454? 10 and a half, 10 and 1, somewhere in that range? Hydraulic roller? Dual plane? What's this going in?
Pop up here.
Pickup truck.
Pickup truck? So low end grunt?
Got a lot of torque.
Where's the ratchet for the crank?
Third drawer. Fourth drawer.
I can find that longer one.
The breaker bar right there. So we're gonna run oil temp off of this plug here. We're gonna run oil pressure off of this guy here. We gotta figure out how to get our dyno headers on and make sure that it doesn't contact with this bit. Still haven't primed it yet for oil. We're moving along. We'll leave valve covers off so that way we can make sure we got oil moving the way we need to make it. But we're getting close. Need a fuel pump block off plate here. And then obviously need to put, I'm not sure what carburetor he's planning on running on this. Probably an ATM if I were a betting man, which I am. All this bit's squared away and good to go. So we're getting semi-close. For all of you guys who do get your car's dynoed or your engine dynoed, a lot of times all you get to see is the glory bits, the fun part where you hit the loud pedal and make the noise. There's a lot that goes into it to be able to get everything ready to go before it goes vroom vroom, and that's what all this is. It's not very fun. A lot of little bits. All right, what are we doing here?
Just working on an old piece of junk Pontiac.
Yeah. Listen, the owner of this piece of junk Pontiac is here.
He is?
Talk nicely about it.
He may leave, you're trying to say? No, he wouldn't leave. There's love here.
Yeah.
There's love here.
Lots of love here.
Lots of love here.
Get your holes lined up.
Not yet.
Oh. You need that piece?
Extra.
Weight reduction.
There's no way I could show that, but there's an oiling hole. I don't think that light will go down that. We're trying to get that.
Well, let me show you this trick. Now you can look at it.
Hey.
How about this?
Yeah, shine a light in there. There we go. It's not going to focus, but you get the idea. Make sure that's lined up, otherwise you're going to have a hell of a lot of oiling problems. Man, this thing's basically ready to rock and roll.
Always my fault.
Yep, if it comes apart, it's your fault.
Oh my God.
He's come with a warranty.
I quit. You talk about you quitting today. I quit.
Come with a warranty.
I'm thinking about maybe, with this shoulder surgery, I'll just, figure out something else to do in life that pays a whole lot more.
Yeah. Grow out a goatee, become a pirate.
No. I don't think I could ever do that. I don't have that. That's okay. I like to move.
This is just pretty medieval process. It's not really finessing it. It's just pretty medieval. Hammer the shit in there.
No. I'll tell you what. You become to know when it's too tight.
Because you feel it?
Yeah, it's just like, man, it's going in hard. And then you go to put the camshaft in it. Yeah, it went in too hard because the bore that the GM or Ford or whoever block it is that they screwed up on, then you gotta buy another set of bearings. You gotta take the bearing off and go to the hone machine and hone the OD of the bearing to fit it.
That's something that most people just kind of skip over.
It's just, yeah, whatever. Don't get me started.
That's why it's here. Be done by a professional.
Here we go again.
It's a great way for people to learn more about what we offer and to be educated in an easy and convenient way.
Yes, there are 3 holes in the bearing.
There's only one hole in it.
There's only 1 hole in the block. So, if you notice a difference between those, that's why.
For better results for every budget, visit iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
It's kind of the same kind of idea when you're putting in cylinder sleeves. It's a very medieval process.
Well, cylinder sleeves, you can mic. See, this is going in a little easier than the others.
Based on your arm chronometer?
Yep.
Listen to More Better with Stephanie and Melissa on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Follow More Better and start listening to the iHeartRadio app today. The world is different for my dog. This is the sound of adventure.
Over and over and over again.
See, that's why this table is designed. I walk around it.
Work. These actually don't sweep out quite as aggressively.
Well, not as much as some do. But it's because this is already so tall and big anyway.
Yeah.
That is about,
Just have to support that up a little bit.
Yeah.
Toss a zip tie on or something. It does have the exhaust gas temperature sensor bungs, so we can pull exhaust gas temperatures. These Schoenfelds. Yep. You're doing a great job, Ryan. You're doing a great job.
Got oil pressure. Look at these.
not seeing anything.
Bounce off the drill. How long is this drive shaft that goes from here all the way back to the water break?
Well, there's a hole over here on
So
the side.
it just runs all the way through this encasing?
I was concerned about it as I bought the dyno and the, because there's very few out here for this. I'm getting oil up here in the back. Got oil on this rocker. So there was a chassis. Not chassis. There was a Winston Cup team originally built these dynos as far as the setup. And there was a guy came in here to pick up some parts. He was from Pennsylvania, and he picked it right up. And I don't remember now which. It was a legendary team, but it was back in the.
Yeah.
And he was like, that is one of their original carts.
Huh.
Now, originally when I bought this was all one piece. You know, when I bought it, I cut it in half so I could make cart to be able to move in
Sure.
and out. And but he was telling me that it was, and I wish I could remember for sure which you know, which team it was or which name, family name, big family name. I don't really want to say because I don't recall for sure. See there's a hole here, but
Yeah.
when I redone the dyno, as far as all the electrical thing, I took that shaft out, took it down to Super Duty,
Yeah.
and had them put the strongest U-joints in it and balance it.
Yep.
And we will pick up a harmonics at 800 RPMs or something out of it when it's on low idle.
Okay.
I don't know whether you've ever heard it, but it's a harmonics, and I just turn up the idle a little bit and it goes away. But I assume it's the firing of the engine allows, you know what I mean. That,
Also, this is dead straight too, right? So it's not at any kind of a pitch at all, like a normal. drive would be.
that's the way it came to me.
Yeah.
So that could be very true.
Yeah, because normally a drive shaft's going to be a couple degrees. You're going to have that.
Yeah, I you know, I won't tell you that it's not. At least it definitely isn't much.
Yeah.
But so I was concerned about the strength of the shaft but we don't dyno high horsepower stuff as a normal. You know, I think 9 something or 1,000 is as close as we've been on this, and it's just because that's just the way.
Yeah. Even if it's a turbo application, you dyno it non-turbo.
Right, we want to break the engine in, and then.
Yeah.
But you know, I think the majority of the time we haven't dyno turbo stuff is nobody's got time.
Yeah, do all the plumbing and everything else.
Yeah, you know,
It's a lot.
it's a lot.
It's a lot.
You know, I would love to. I mean, we've got all the stuff out there from Nitrous Express to hook up and do the nitrous stuff on it.
Oh, okay.
I would love to get that stuff hooked up, but it comes back to time.
Yeah.
You know, I thought there was, especially when we was doing Jimmy Dale's, there was a lot to possibly learn.
Well, especially when you're spraying the house down like Jimmy does. Like, you better be on somewhere near safe or you're going to melt some stuff in a hurry.
So, the water pump and everything I got it will hold it. I mean, everything we do is just on the small fringe of the capabilities between the pump and the thing. But
Well, that's the smart way to do. Overbuild it and then barely use it.
well, I mean, but it came this way. But you know, the water pump and stuff we put on, they told us, well, this is what you need. You need to do this, and you're going to use all this water. That's what I try to tell people on these engagements I'm in, as far as on Facebook groups on dyno things. It's like, you don't need all that. You do not need everything that they tell you need. And I don't think the majority of the people, because if you build it and put all these huge tanks underground and control all this water because you're going to go through so much water, well, if you set it up that way, you don't know whether you need it or not, because you got it.
Because you got it. Yep.
But if you start out at the beginning and don't have anything, you know, and put it together, I mean, like, we dump the water.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it comes out of the well.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, if I go through, I bet we don't go through 10 gallon on a pool.
Yeah. Which is not a gigantic amount of water.
We have never measured it, but we refill the 200 gallon tank. We need more. And that, you know, there was a lot of things that we, as my engineers, friends that are pretty smart, was like, I don't think we need all that stuff.
Hey, look, I've got audio on this video. Good
What's
job,
that?
Austin.
You know your views will go down.
You see these little green bars
Yeah, you know the views will go down.
Yeah, right? Everybody wants to hear Austin talking for 27 minutes. Even I get tired of my voice.
You got any leftover?
Which is probably hard to believe, but
Two more.
I do indeed actually get tired of my own voice.
I mean,
might as well mention this. So the last video, as I said earlier, I didn't have audio in it. I had video with audio for the first, I think, 5 or 6 clips. And then there's a little button that's literally right beside the power button on this camera. And when you power off, if you hit the mode button, it switches it into slow motion mode. And unless you're paying attention to the audio levels on this screen over here, you never notice it. It's not something you see on the camera. So, but I'm just grabbing a camera and shooting, grabbing a camera and shooting. I don't pay attention to that. I will pay attention to it better now, but yeah, I had something like 60 clips with no audio in them. I'm not a voiceover kind of guy. I'm a shoot as we go kind of guy. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I did have a couple people mention that I'm trying to be Bill.
I seen a couple mention that they liked it better.
Well, according to the analytics, they didn't, because they watch it about 10 minutes less than normal video. That's that way. But that's okay. I understand. I appreciate you guys that watch that stuff. By the way, might as well mention this while we're messing around here. Thanks for being here. But all the revenue that we make on this video and everything else that you watch for the entire rest of the month of February, we are donating to the people of Central and Eastern Kentucky that are being affected by the floods that are happening down there. It's not on the news very much. It's not being talked about nearly as much as what happened in Western North Carolina. But the folks that are in Kentucky are getting absolutely pounded right now with rain, snow, ice, all kinds of problems. People being washed away. I think the latest, when I looked at it last, was 15 deaths so far. And all kinds of homes and businesses that were just absolutely decimated that's down there. So Gina Rose, the lady that does all of our shirts that's down there, she happens to be in
I got all but one. I'm happy.
So she's our boots on the ground that's down there. So all the revenue that we're going to make off of any of these videos through the entire month of February, all of that revenue is going to go to the Kent Rose Foundation, and she's going to make sure that it goes to the people that need it. So you're watching this video and being here this long is generating revenue that we can be able to do good things for people with. So thank you guys very much for being here. If you're into this kind of thing, by the way, if you can put up with me and my shenanigans, click on that subscribe button. It's always nice to have new people here. I promise we're going to get to some loud stuff here very shortly. But this is a day in the life of what it is to be at Bob McVay's. Well, with 4 helpers. It's probably a little bit faster paced than what normally happens. This is the made-for-TV version of a day in the life of Bob. So, Bob, you wanna give up the story as to why I got a phone call from Summit Racing?
Sorry.
A couple days ago, I get a phone call, and I don't know any idea why Summit Racing is calling me.
Well, they're wanting to sponsor you.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Is somebody finally recognized me, and they're going to give me a bunch of stuff, and I'm going to be a Summit guy. Turns out that's not the case. The reason that they called me is because Bob threw me under the bus.
Well, you took the cash home.
So back in July, we went to Pontiac Nationals, and Bob came this close to winning the Pontiac Nationals. And we made an agreement that he took the trophy and I took the cash. The problem is what that worked out to is he took the trophy, I paid the taxes. So, yeah, that's what that phone call was for. I was super excited about, oh my God, I'm going to get sponsored. Yes, this is going to be awesome. No. It's just Austin, we'd like your information because you owe taxes. Son of a... Oh well. I was so excited. Oh yeah, here we go. No. Alright, so we got multiple things going on here. This Big Block is getting buttoned back up. My 1971 Le Mans Pontiac 350 with internally balanced, brand new Eagle rods, Silver Light standard pistons. This one is going together just as a normal street motor. cast iron heads, 9-to-1 compression, somewhere in that range. Shouldn't be anything to write home about, but it should perform pretty well. Got ourselves a new camshaft. We got a little bit aggressive on that guy. This is my dude. 51-223-4. It's a XE268H camshaft. 267, 280. Lift is 477 and 480 on exhaust. Duration 224. So that's what's going to go in this, guys. Should give us a good little rumble. It's built for where we need to be, but it's going to give us a good sound to it. I am returning this car back to pretty much original, so it's going to go back to cast iron intake manifold and quadrajet. I'm also pulling off the long tube headers on it and going back to exhaust manifolds for it to keep this car kind of as original in stock as I possibly can, because I don't need another race car. We already have one, and that one's going to be one for another one. We're building the 1968 Le Mans into a bit of a race car as well, so I don't need 3. 1 cruiser, 2 race cars sounds smart to me.
We're perfect.
Even the wizard himself, but you caught yourself. You caught yourself. For those of you who are rebuilding Pontiacs, don't forget that plug. Otherwise, right there, you will not get any oil to that side of the head. Ask me how I know.
I didn't do it.
That one had a problem. Now we're good. Alright. Big block's coming along. Water pump's on, valve covers are on, EGT sensors are in, headers are on. Brand new MSD distributor. Some brand new NGK plugs. Coming along, getting close. And Bob has got my Pontiac all covered up. We're moving along. Note to self, when you go to Jegs tomorrow, check and see if the rods have showed up for that yet. Because we can't put a short block together, we don't got no rods.
At least we got to balance that crank.
And we got to do the crank. Right, we got to balance our rotating stuff. So double check to see if my rods have shown up. By the way, Terry, I hope you're feeling better. I know you've been playing hooky all week. Hopefully you're back there tomorrow. Hey, we got audio. All right, so these are my old heads off of my 71. So these are my stock heads, and they are old and busted, I think is the professional term. So guides are bad, valve seats or exhaust seats are bad. Everything's bad. We're putting all new valves in it, new seats in it, new guides in it. Right? Yep. So what are we fixing to fix here?
We're getting ready to bore a replacement guide.
Okay. Essentially hogging out a hole.
Yeah, drill the hole. We got boxes. Did you put a plug in an intake you did?
Looking dangerously close to being able to make some thunder happen. So this is a 1050 ATM with nothing done to it. We just bolted on and...
Well, it's the one we bolt on everything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah, no.
didn't make any adjustments, no nothing. Just bolted on and go.
No, we won't put anything different on in that carburetor versus the small block.
Or the 455 old, same thing we ran on it. And it just snapped off like no big deal.
Yep. This guy ordered a new one from ATM, but it's going to be a few weeks before it's made. And I want to give it back to him before I leave.
Sure.
So we're going to just dyno it with this one. And
Close enough.
Yeah, close enough, you know. And then he, you know, like he also said that, you know, this, you know, it won't ride on there.
Yeah. One of the cool things, by the way, with ATM, if you're not familiar with these guys, is they don't really do a lot of like boxed carburetors. Almost everything they're going to build is going to be basically specific to your combination.
Yeah, they don't have anything on the shelf. I asked him if he had something on the shelf just to help me out so we could put his carburetor
Get me one
on.
now.
And he was like, we don't have anything.
Yeah. So they build these things based on what it is you do. So when you call ATM and have that conversation with them, they're going to ask you all kinds of stuff to be able to figure out exactly what they need to build this thing with, so that when you get it, you take it out of the box, bolt it on. It's pretty damn close. You may need to make some slight adjustments to it from there, but generally speaking, their stuff is ready to rock and roll right out of the box for your specific combination. So I am not sponsored by ATM, but I do believe in their product, and I think they're a great bunch of people, and they're Kentucky folks. Good old blue collar working folks. We're dangerously close to hitting the buttons. All right, let's see. Fuel cell is most of the way empty, so we're gonna run and grab some fuel. We're gonna run this thing on crap gas, I believe. So I'm gonna run and grab some 87 octane dyno juice, and we'll make some noise. Grab my hoodie. It's cold outside. Change of plans for complete transparency. I needed fuel in my Passat wagon anyway. It runs on premium, so that's what we're gonna run. I've got, I don't know, 2.5 gallons or so in there. Still got half of that left, so we should be good to go. So this is not running on 87, this is gonna run on 92. Also got myself a Propel water. So we're being completely transparent. I think we're about ready to kick the tires and light the fire, yeah?
Ready?
He's hitting switches. Man! You were thinking you were going to just hot shot it, right?
I am. I'm a shoe shot, right?
battled this issue before when we were on the Oldsmobile. The fuel pump keeps kicking the fuse. So we had actually used a different fuel pump to be able to provide fuel to the EFI system other than the normal one that they have on the house dyno. Unfortunately, that's like a really expensive fuel pump, but it keeps on kicking this fuse. So please hold for technical difficulties. Well, I'm going to drain that fuel back out we just put in there and switch back to different electronic fuel pump that we've got, the one we were running before. It should have enough headroom to be able to power this thing. Should, I would think. I think those pumps are rated at 650, so I don't think this is a 30 over 454 10.5 or 10-to-1 compression. And it's a truck cam, so it shouldn't make that much power. We should be fine. So, just gotta do a little fuel pump changeroo back to what we were just on. We'll get back to racing, or get back to running. Isn't this fun? All right, fire in the hole. EFI people and our carburetor people, well, Bob there is fixing things with a screwdriver, adjusting the idle, changing the mixture. 750? 750. So at the moment we're at 29 degrees of timing. Just putting some heat in it, and the oil and in the water. At this point in time, just letting it run in. Make sure everything's good. You're not hearing any sounds you don't want to hear. You're not seeing any leaks. Everything seems to be good. Check his phone. Make sure all of his fans are attended to. Bob loves being a TV star, by the way. All right, sit rep. We need stuff. We need to replace the fuel pump in the dyno cell. Called Jegs. They have what we need in stock. Going to be doing a MagnaFuel, I think is what it is, 750, which is good up to like 2,000 horsepower because we're planning ahead for what's going to be coming next. So I got to get my ass to the Jegs warehouse in a hurry because they close at 5:30. So we're going to let this thing sit as of right now, and we're going to get back to it first thing in the morning. We've also got to pick up some parts for Billy's Big Block as well as for another Big Block so we can get everything else buttoned up and get everything ready to go. So this will be on the next video when we're going to actually make some pulls on this thing. This is really how business goes and how life goes in the dynos. You never know when you're going to need something, and you never know what's going to fail. So we just want to be on the safe side and make sure we're not going to run out of fuel pump and put ourselves in a good position. And I think the owner of this motor will also be here tomorrow to be able to watch this thing pull as well. So I think that's where we're going to wrap this one up. Bob, you got any words of wisdom? Peace? Feel like you got a lot done today? No?
Some.
Some?
Some.
All right. Fair enough. That's it, folks. Thanks for being here. Truly do appreciate you. If you made it this far, you probably generated a decent amount of revenue for the channel, so thank you very much for being here. Like I said, it's going to charity this year, so we'll see how much money we make. Thanks for being here. Click on the subscribe button if you made it this far. Click on the like button if you made it this far. I'll see you in the next one, which I'll be back here tomorrow morning. Take care. Bye-bye.